Don't believe this self-improvement myth. A lot of people think that to live a better life, you need to control everything around you, every person, every situation, every outcome. But that's not the secret to real inner peace or success. In fact, constantly chasing control over things outside of you is a recipe for stress, frustration, and disappointment. Instead, the key to living a more peaceful, resilient life is to shift your focus inward. In this video, we're diving into Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to focus on what we can control, align our lives with virtue, and reflect daily to continuously improve ourselves. You'll discover how to handle life's challenges like Marcus Aurelius, let go of what you can't control, and live with intention. If you've ever felt overwhelmed or stuck in a cycle of stress, this could be the game-changing approach you've been looking for. Let's explore how Stoic wisdom can help you take back control, starting from the inside out. Number 1, focus on what you can control. The core of Stoic wisdom. Imagine starting your day feeling light, calm, and entirely in control. You step out into the world, knowing that nothing external can disturb your inner peace. You've set your intentions, and your mind is free from unnecessary worries. This sounds like an ideal morning, doesn't it? It's a moment of happiness many of us long for. The feeling of having everything together, knowing that we're managing our lives well. But more often than not, our days don't unfold like this. We get bogged down by traffic, unexpected emails, last-minute work demands, or comments that throw us off course. That sinking feeling begins to settle in. Frustration, anger, maybe even anxiety. It's as if, no matter how hard we try, the world keeps throwing things our way that we simply can't control. This is where Stoicism offers a transformative shift in thinking. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the principle that we cannot control external events. We can only control how we respond to them. It's a simple yet profound truth, one that can free us from the constant tension of trying to manage the uncontrollable. You can't stop the rain, but you can decide whether to bring an umbrella. You can't stop someone from cutting you off in traffic, but you can choose to let it slide rather than let it ruin your morning. This idea may seem straightforward on the surface, but how many of us truly live by it? How many times do we get upset over things beyond our control, like someone else's opinion, a delay in our schedule, or even something as inevitable as the weather? Instead of focusing on our own actions, we waste energy on things that will never be within our grasp. Think back to a time when you allowed external circumstances to derail your mood. Maybe it was a comment that hurt, a job you didn't get, or a personal setback. What if, at that moment, you had reminded yourself that the only thing within your power was your response? This is the core of Stoic wisdom, mastering the art of internal control amidst external chaos. Now take a moment to reflect on when you last felt this tension between what you could and couldn't control. Perhaps it was recent, perhaps years ago, but the feeling is universal. The frustration of trying to mold the world around you can be overwhelming. Think of a time when you realized, in hindsight, that no amount of worry or frustration changed the outcome of a situation. Maybe it was a relationship that ended, an argument with a friend, or a work project that didn't go as planned. At that moment, you were probably consumed with emotions, feeling as though the situation was spiraling out of control. But looking back, there's often a sense of clarity, recognizing that the only thing you ever had control over was your reaction, your attitude, your mindset. This realization is a crucial turning point for many who adopt Stoic practices. Once you internalize the idea that your reactions are the only things you can truly control, you start to see the world differently. You become curious. What would life look like if you really focused on mastering your mind rather than the circumstances around you? Could you find peace amidst chaos? Could you maintain your happiness even in the face of setbacks? This curiosity leads to a deeper exploration of how you can apply this wisdom daily and how it might change your life in ways you hadn't imagined. Number 2, the power of virtue, aligning your life with reason and nature. Close your eyes and imagine a version of yourself that feels whole, grounded, and purposeful. Imagine that every decision you make, every action you take, aligns with your core values and your true self. There's a quiet joy in living this way. No more second guessing, no more internal conflict, just a sense of calm and direction. This is the happiness that comes from living a virtuous life, something the Stoics believed was the highest good. For the Stoics, virtue meant living in accordance with reason and nature. This doesn't mean living in a forest or forsaking modern life. Instead, it's about aligning your actions with the natural order of the world, acting in ways that are rational, just, and in harmony with your true self. Virtue is the foundation upon which everything else rests. Your happiness, your fulfillment, your peace of mind. Without virtue, even wealth, power, or pleasure become empty pursuits. But how do we live virtuously in today's world? A world filled with distractions, temptations, and constant noise. It's easy to stray from our values when we're bombarded by external pressures, whether it's the drive for success, the desire for approval, or the pursuit of comfort. Think about your own life. Have there been moments when you've acted in ways that didn't align with your deeper values, just to fit in, to please someone else, or to avoid discomfort? Maybe it was staying silent when you knew you should have spoken up, or cutting corners on a project to meet a deadline. We've all been there, and in those moments, there's often a lingering sense of guilt, even if it's subtle. Take a moment to reflect on a time when you made a decision based on your values, even when it was difficult. Maybe you stood up for what you believed in, even though it wasn't popular. Or perhaps you made a sacrifice because you knew it was the right thing to do. How did you feel afterward? There's a unique kind of satisfaction that comes from living virtuously, from knowing that your actions align with who you truly are. This is what the Stoics aimed for, a life lived in accordance with virtue, where happiness stems not from external rewards, but from inner alignment. As you think about those moments, you might begin to wonder, what would your life look like if you consistently lived this way? If, in every situation, you chose to act with courage, wisdom, justice, and moderation? What kind of person would you become? It's a question worth exploring, and it's one that leads to a deeper curiosity about how virtue can shape not only your decisions, but your entire approach to life. What would change if you truly committed to living according to your highest values every day? Number 3, mindfulness in action. How Stoicism helps you live with intention. Picture yourself moving through your day with complete presence. Each task, no matter how small, is done with full attention and care. You're not rushing from one thing to the next, nor are you dwelling on past mistakes or future worries. Instead, you're fully engaged in the present moment, mindful of your actions and your thoughts. It's a peaceful state to imagine, isn't it? There's happiness in this kind of presence, a quiet joy in simply being where you are, doing what you're doing. Mindfulness is a practice many of us aspire to, but in the busyness of modern life, it often feels elusive. We live in a world of distractions, where our attention is constantly pulled in 1,000 different directions: notifications, emails, social media, deadlines. It's easy to lose sight of the present moment, to move through life on autopilot, reacting rather than intentionally acting. But Stoicism offers a way to cultivate mindfulness, not as a trendy concept, but as a core aspect of living with intention. For the Stoics, mindfulness wasn't about sitting still or meditating. It was about being fully aware of your actions and making sure they aligned with your values. Every decision, every choice, every action was an opportunity to practice virtue, to live in accordance with reason. This kind of mindfulness requires constant self-awareness. It's about paying attention not just to what you're doing, but to why you're doing it. Are your actions driven by wisdom, or are they reactive? Are you acting out of fear, anger or impatience? Or are you grounded in reason and virtue? Think about your own life. How often do you find yourself reacting to situations without thinking or making decisions on autopilot? Maybe you snap at someone when you're stressed or rush through a task just to get it done. These moments can leave us feeling disconnected, not just from others, but from ourselves. But there have also been times when you've been fully present, perhaps during a meaningful conversation, a creative project, or simply a quiet moment in nature. How did you feel in those moments? There's a sense of calm and fulfillment that comes from being mindful, from knowing that your actions are intentional and aligned with your values. As you reflect on these experiences, you might start to wonder, what would it be like to live with this kind of mindfulness every day? What if you approached each task, no matter how mundane, with the same presence and care? What if you made every decision with intention, rather than simply reacting to the world around you? It's a question that invites curiosity and exploration, and it's one that can lead to a deeper understanding of how mindfulness can transform not just your day-to-day life, but your entire approach to living. Number 4. Daily reflection, a Stoic practice for continuous self-improvement. Imagine ending your day with a moment of quiet reflection. You sit down, free from distractions, and mentally walk through the events of the day. You think about the conversations you had, the decisions you made, and the way you responded to challenges. You don't judge yourself harshly, but rather observe with curiosity and openness. It feels good, doesn't it? It's a moment of peace and satisfaction, a chance to learn from your experiences and grow. There's happiness in knowing that every day, no matter how difficult, is an opportunity to improve. For the Stoics, daily reflection was a cornerstone of their philosophy. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoics, would regularly write in his journal, reflecting on his thoughts, actions, and decisions. He didn't do this to criticize himself, but to continuously refine his character and align his life with virtue. It's a practice that fosters mindfulness and self-awareness, helping you understand not only what you did during the day, but why you did it. Did you act out of fear or anger, or were you guided by wisdom and reason? This practice of reflection is a powerful tool for personal growth. When you take the time to look back on your day, you gain insight into your patterns of behavior, your strengths, and your weaknesses. It's an opportunity to celebrate your successes, learn from your mistakes, and set intentions for the next day. Think about a time when you reflected on a past situation and realized that you could have handled it differently. Maybe it was an argument with a loved one, a decision at work, or a personal challenge. In hindsight, you might have seen how your emotions clouded your judgment, or how a different approach could have led to a better outcome. These moments of reflection can be both humbling and empowering. They remind us that we are all works in progress and that true growth comes from continuous self-improvement. Imagine what your life could look like if you committed to reflecting on your actions every day. Over time, you would start to notice patterns, both positive and negative, that shape your behavior. You would become more aware of your triggers, your strengths, and your areas for improvement. This kind of self-awareness leads to curiosity. How much more could you grow if you practice this consistently? What changes could you make in your life if you truly paid attention to your actions and learned from them every day? Number 5, resilience through Stoicism, facing life's challenges. Like Marcus Aurelius, picture yourself facing a difficult situation, a setback at work, a conflict with a friend, or an unexpected personal challenge. Despite the pressure, you remain calm, composed, and resilient. You don't react impulsively or let your emotions take control. Instead, you approach the situation with reason, clarity, and strength. It feels good to imagine yourself handling adversity with such grace, doesn't it? There's a sense of happiness in knowing that no matter what life throws your way, you have the inner strength to navigate it. This kind of resilience is at the heart of Stoic philosophy, and few figures embody it better than Marcus Aurelius. As a Roman emperor, Marcus faced constant challenges, wars, political instability, personal loss, but he maintained his composure and integrity throughout. He wrote extensively about the importance of resilience, focusing on how to remain steadfast in the face of adversity. For Marcus, the key to resilience wasn't avoiding hardship. It was about how you respond to it. Life, as we all know, is filled with challenges. Some are small and manageable, while others are overwhelming and unexpected. Think about a time when you faced a significant challenge in your life. Maybe it was the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, or a health issue. In that moment, it might have felt like the world was crumbling around you, but somehow you found the strength to keep going. You may have discovered a well of resilience within yourself that you didn't even know existed. Stoicism teaches that we all have this capacity for resilience. It's not something reserved for a select few. The Stoics believed that by focusing on what is within our control and accepting what is not, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and strength. Instead of being overwhelmed by obstacles, we can view them as opportunities for growth. Every hardship, no matter how difficult, is a chance to practice patience, courage, and wisdom. As you reflect on your own experiences, you might begin to wonder, how much more resilient could you become if you fully embraced the Stoic mindset? What if, like Marcus Aurelius, you approached every challenge with the belief that it was an opportunity to strengthen your character? It's a powerful shift in perspective, one that opens the door to deeper curiosity about your own potential for resilience. How much more could you endure, and how much stronger could you become by practicing Stoic principles in your daily life? Number 6, letting go of what you can't control, the path to inner peace. Imagine a life where you no longer carry the weight of things beyond your control. You wake up each day with a sense of freedom and lightness, knowing that you've let go of the worries, fears, and frustrations that used to hold you back. It's a peaceful feeling, isn't it? There's happiness in this kind of release, in knowing that you are no longer bound by the things you cannot change. Letting go of what you can't control is one of the most liberating aspects of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that much of our suffering comes from our attempts to control the uncontrollable. Whether it's other people's opinions, the outcome of events, or even the passage of time. By focusing on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, we can find a deeper sense of peace. It's a simple yet profound shift in thinking, one that can transform how we experience the world. Think about a time when you held on to something that was beyond your control. Maybe it was a grudge against someone who wronged you, a job opportunity that didn't work out, or a plan that fell apart. The more you tried to control the situation, the more frustrated and anxious you became. But eventually, there came a moment when you realized that no amount of worry or effort could change the outcome. And in that moment, when you finally let go, you felt a sense of relief, maybe even peace. This is the essence of what the Stoics teach. When we stop fighting against the inevitable and accept life as it is, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. As you reflect on these experiences, you might start to wonder, what would your life look like if you consistently let go of the things you can't control? How much lighter would you feel if you stopped trying to manage other people's actions or predict the future? This curiosity opens up a new way of thinking about your life. It's not about giving up or becoming passive. It's about focusing your energy on the things that truly matter, the things you have power over. What if you could fully embrace this mindset and let go of the rest? It's a question worth exploring, and one that can lead to a deeper sense of inner peace. As we've explored, Stoicism offers profound wisdom on how to navigate life's challenges by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we can't. It's not about changing the world around us. It's about changing how we respond to it. By living with intention, practicing mindfulness, and embracing daily reflection, you can cultivate resilience and inner peace, just like Marcus Aurelius and countless others who have followed the Stoic path. Remember, the journey towards self-improvement and peace is a lifelong practice, but with consistency, the rewards are life-changing. If you've made it this far, drop 100 in the comments. It shows you're part of the rare 0.01% who finish what they start. And if you're serious about transforming your life and want more content like this, be sure to join our community by subscribing to the channel. Your journey to living a more intentional, resilient life starts now.